You can have your whole life planned out. You can see the future so clearly it feels like a memory. The house, the family, the person by your side. And then, in a single conversation, every one of those plans can turn to smoke, leaving you standing alone in the wreckage. Welcome to Reddit Overheard Stories. Today's story is a heartbreaking account from a man who went from the highest high to the lowest low in the span of a few weeks and is now faced with an impossible choice. As the author is male, I will be sharing his story in his own words. Our relationship was almost 2 years old, and it felt solid, real. When she had to move back to her hometown for a graduate program, we didn't even question it. We did long distance for a while, a difficult test that I thought we were passing. So when she asked me to move to her hometown to be with her, to close the distance for good, it felt like the natural next step. I didn't hesitate. I packed up my life, left my friends and my city behind, and moved for her. We got an apartment together last January. I was all I in early May. Our world tilted on its axis. We found out she was pregnant. It was completely unplanned, a shock that could have sent us spiraling. But as I looked at that positive test, the shock was instantly replaced by a wave of pure, overwhelming excitement. I was going to be a dad. For years, I had been diligently saving money, building a foundation for a future I hadn't even fully defined yet. I had even started casually looking at houses online before we knew. I was ready. This wasn't a crisis for me. It was the start of everything. But as my excitement grew, I noticed hers didn't. She was quiet, distant. I tried to convince myself it was just stress from her final exams. She's just overwhelmed, I'd tell myself. It'll pass. But finals came and went, and the cloud over her didn't lift. I'd bring up the baby, try and share my joy, and she would offer a weak, unconvincing smile. "I'm excited," she'd say, but her eyes were empty. I've known her for a long time. I know what she looks like when she's genuinely happy about something. This wasn't it. After a month of this strange, tense limbo, she finally sat me down on the couch. The look on her face told me everything I needed to know. "I can't do this," she said, her voice flat, devoid of emotion. She told me she wasn't ready to be a mom, that she had decided to get an abortion. And then, the second blow, and I think it's best we break up. Just like that, my entire world imploded. The woman I moved across the country for, the mother of the child I was already so excited to meet, had just erased our entire future in 2 sentences. That was in early July. She moved out almost immediately, back in with her parents. Her one request was that I not contact her for a while. So I respected it. I was left alone in our apartment, in her small hometown where her large, extended family all lived nearby. I had never felt so isolated. I started making plans to crawl back to my old life, my tail between my legs, completely and utterly heartbroken. For 2 months, I lived in that silence, grieving a relationship and a child I thought I was going to have. And then, in early September, my phone buzzed. It was her. She had a different story now. She told me she wasn't getting the abortion. She was keeping the baby. She said her previous decision was just a freak out, a moment of panic, but she was ready now. And she wanted to work on our relationship. She wanted to come back. I listened to her, and I felt nothing. The part of me that had been so in love with her, so excited for our future, had been killed off in that conversation in July. It couldn't just be resurrected on command that I told her, my voice steady and clear, "I will be a loving and caring father to our child. I will be there for them, 100%, but I'm not interested in getting back together with you. That part of our life is over. We will have a co-parenting relationship." Now, she's pleading with me to reconsider, crying, telling me she made a terrible mistake. But the trust is gone. The foundation is shattered. I can't build a future on rubble, and that's the situation. I'm committed to being a father, but I refuse to be her partner again. Am I the asshole for protecting my own heart? Is it cruel to refuse a second chance to the mother of my child? Or is it a necessary boundary after she showed me how easily she could walk away from everything we had? Let me know what you think in the comments.